lahat ng itinuturo. Sabi nila si Saldico ang may problema. Nung nagturo na yung mga tao, in fact, sinabi ko nga there are deliveries to Speaker Martin Romualdez. Imbis na pakinggan nila yung mga Marines, immediately, outright lie, impossible, not true, credibility, not true. Para bang, dito umpisa pa lang You have people talking first-hand information, they have personal knowledge, sila yung nag-deliver, may picture sila, may ledger sila, and yet, from day one, stop. Lalo-lalo na pag si Martin Romualdez ang nadamay.
Interview ho nitong si Sen Mike dito kay Ma'am Karen Davila dyan sa ANC ang ating pag-uusapan dito sa video na to. At itong si Trililing, naku, ng kaso na naman ho. Kinasuhan ho itong si Banat Bay at yung iba pang host ng SMNI. Pero bago yan, sa like at sa subscribe, masaya na ho tayo dyan at sa mga gusto sumali sa ating community, yung join button, nandyan lang ho sa baba. Ayun na nga, hindi ho makapaniwala itong si Ma'am Karen Davila sa mga isiniwalat na detalye nitong si Sen Mike dito sa interview niya na to kay Ma'am Karen Davila. Pero bago ho yan, dumako ho muna tayo dito sa panibagong kaso na naman itong si Trililing. Iba ho yung kaso niya noong nag-press con itong ating mga magigiting na Marines. Naku, kabaro mo pa naman yung mga yan. Pambihira ka talaga. Sa bagay, wala na daw hong natitirang dangal dyan sa mama na yan doon sa mga institusyon na pinanggalingan niya. Ito mga kababayan, ngayong umaga ako'y muling nagsampa ng mga kaso laban sa 18 Marines dahil sa patuloy nilang pagkakalat ng kasinungalingan tungkol sa akin. Alin? Yung nagatid sila ng pera sa'yo? Yung di umano ikaw ang trumabaho sa mga mga investigador ng ICC sa Pilipinas? Merong larawan, testimonya at yung pagpapakaaso mo nung 19th Congress dito kay Zaldico at kay Martin Romualdez. Kitang-kita yan na sambayan ng Pilipino. Ngayon ang pagkukunik-konekta na yung mga dots, tama naman yan, idaan mo sa proseso. Pero siguraduhin mo, wag lang puro kaso. Dapat mananalo ka. Sino bang sasagupahin mo dyan? Attorney Israeli Totorio, naloko na. Yun ang sasagupahin mo dyan, Brad. At saka tayo naniniwala doon sa walang masamang ginawa ang mga banateros. Walang linabag ang mga banateros. Sila nagtanong lamang, hindi nila sinugundahan o kung ano pa man yung mga testimonya ng 18 Marine. Ang sinabi lang nila, ang ginawa lang nila doon sa programa, tinanong at ilinahad naman nitong 18 Marines yung kanilang personal knowledge. Diyan sa mga operasyon nitong si Zaldico, yung mga diniliber ng pera at kung sino yung mga na-deliveran, all of a sudden, isa ka daw di umano sa mga yon, Trillanes. Kasama rin sa kasong ito si Byron, Banat Bay Cristobal at iba pang host ng SMNI. Hanggat patuloy silang nagkakalat ng mga kasinungalingan, patuloy din ang pagsasampa ko ng kaso laban sa kanila. Di ko kayo titigilan. Anak lang to. Dapat di ko kayo tatantanan. Hahabulin ko kayo na para bang asong ulo. Ito talaga si Trililing. Oo. Anong mali doon? Sila mga tauhan ni Zaldico. Sinabi nila, isa ka daw sa mga trumabaho dyan sa mga anomalya na yan. Di umano tayo dito sa PH Update, di natin pinaparatangan ng kung sino man dito. Ang atin dito, ilinalatag ng mga tauhan ni Zaldico kung anong nangyari doon sa kaperahan ng sambayanan na pinabigay kung kani-kanino. At nataon na isa sa mga pangalan na nabanggit itong si Trililing. Ngayon pati yung mga ibang host, siguro yan si wala dyan si Jay Guevara Jay, absuelto ka. Jay, hindi ka kasama, Brad. Diba? Ayos. Hindi kasama si Jay Guevara dyan kasi nandun lang ata si Coach, si Bay, si Boss Dada, sino pa? Ano pangalan? Si Master Judea. Kung di tayo nagkakamali, sila lang. Pati ata itong si Sir Jack, wala rin ata siya doon Nandun pa si Sir Jack. Parang nandun din ata. Nakalimutan ko na. Mamaya, sa susunod na video, tingnan natin kung ano ba ang iniiyak nitong si Trililing doon sa naging press con na yun ng mga nang naging interview na yun ng mga banateros doon sa ating 18 Marine. Dito sa video na to, babaran lang ho natin itong naging interview nitong si Sen Mike dito kay Ma'am Karen Davila. Napakarami ho na naman detalye na ilalatag nitong si Sen Mike dito sa video na to. Panoorin ho natin ito mga kababayan. Tagal no?
All right, joining us this morning is former lawmaker Representative Mike Defensor. Attorney Defensor, good morning to you.
Hi Karen, Mike lang, hindi tayo abogado.
Mike, okay. Oo, Mike pa rin. Okay.
Ba't parang blooming nga tayo itong si Ma'am Karen dito sa video niya na to? Ano nga natin to? Blooming si Ma'am Karen dito Oh.
Okay, unang-una, linawin na natin talaga, no, once and for all. Ano ba ang papel ninyo dito sa paglabas ng 18 Marines? Every single step of the way, what was your role?
Well, Karen, if you recall, when Sergeant Contessa came out, there were already talks about other former soldiers who worked with him to come out also and to talk about the issues of the deliveries, yung mga maleta delivery. And during that time, marami. There were a lot of retired soldiers reaching out to them, to the retired officials also part of their group. Maraming nangyayari doon. And then eventually, Attorney Baligod, sometime, if I'm not mistaken, December, was talking to me about it. Sabi niya, nakakausap ko and we are already discussing. Sometime January again, binabanggit niya, nag-uusap sila.
But why would Attorney Baligod reach out to you? What is your relationship with Attorney Baligod?
Because Attorney Baligod also knew that I was, he knew that I was with Gutesa and that eventually, sabi niya sa akin, yung mga kasama lalabas, nakakausap ko na. So ang sabi ko, okay, and si Attorney Baligod kasi Vanguard yan UP Vanguard. So alam naman natin, in UP, yung mga Vanguard, they're connected with many military officials. So I knew that, he had a strong connection with them. And so sometime, I think, a week before that, sabi niya, ito na, meron na kaming ginawa na may mga draft na ginagawa na sila about the affidavit. Eventually, they said we will be coming out. I think it was also because marami nang na-inform or may intel reports na that there are soldiers coming out and they said, they were forced to come out that Tuesday. And sabi ko, sige, I'll help kung ano man matutulong ko. I was helping before that and I was helping during the press conference. And,
Did you read the affidavits before you helped them out? Because you kept saying, even when I believe you went personally to the NBI. Tama? No?
Yes.
Did you
Yes.
go? You did say you did not take part in crafting the affidavits. Did you read the affidavits?
It was just one affidavit that I saw which eventually came out. Ito yung sinasabi ni Ombudsman Boying Remulla and nakita ko naman. In fact, nakita ko to the signed affidavit the day before it was going to come out. The afternoon before it was going to come out. I didn't have a copy. I
Okay.
saw the affidavit and then nakuha ko lang yung copy after the press conference.
So is it right to say, Mike, that you actually assisted, no? Kasi ang sinabi mo, you helped with transportation. That you
Yes.
assisted the 18 itong former ex-Marines without you really knowing who they are. You did not vet
correct.
them at all. Kasi ang delikado rin dito, your name is involved, but did you do some kind of vetting process?
If
Saan
you
nanggaling ang mga ito? Bakit sila lumabas? Sinong nagpalabas sa kanila? Who is behind them? I mean, I can't imagine just, former Marines just deciding to come out on their own without anybody of some influence at least speaking with them after what happened to Orly Guteza.
Yes.
What happened to Orly Guteza doesn't inspire anyone to come out. Did you do
Exactly.
some kind of process?
Yes. Well, of course, Karen, first and foremost is Attorney Levi Baligod. He was involved with the Lapolis case. Kilala ko yung background niya. And as I've said, Vanguard siya. Brad siya ng tatay ko, who is also UP Vanguard. And then after that, I cannot name the names, but there were retired officials involved.
So
Uh,
meron. Oo.
May mga former retired officials involved, and they were discussing about it. And prior to coming out, I met with the two who Sergeant Gutesa spoke with. I spoke with the two. Who
Okay,
Sergeant
sino
Gutesa
yun?
spoke with.
Pakibanggit, sir. Pakibanggit.
I forgot the names eh. Basta nung nakita kami, ang sabi nila, "Sir, nalalala mo na magkakausap kayo." Tinawagan ako at ang sabi sa akin, "Oy, kapitan niyo yung mga photos tsaka mga videos na hawak ninyo." Sabi ko, nare-recall ko, kaharap ko siya, but I didn't know who they were. Sabi niya, "Sir, ako yun." Sabi ko, ikaw ba yun? Tapos yung isa naman, sabi niya, "Sir, di ba sabi ni TAP na, oy, supportan niyo ako. Lalabas ako, magsasalita na ako." Sabi niya, ako naman yun. So there were already two that Sergeant Gutesa spoke with. And you know, what they said was actually what Gutesa was talking about in front of me when they were calling his comrades.
Okay. Now, the two retired officials who you say were behind, no? Is it correct putting the 18 ex-Marines together or supporting them? Tama?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I think
Were
the
they
soldiers were...
Ano
Former
sila ba?
Marines?
Were they former congressmen, former
No.
military officials? Sino sila?
Military officials. There were former Marine officials who I think served at some point with some of them at kinikilala nila. And sila yung, I would think, no, sila yung naging conduit with Attorney Levy Baligod. And also si Attorney Levy Baligod has been closely working with these officials in the past.
Okay, because what got very confusing as everybody watched that press conference, number one is the 18 ex-Marines actually, they hit on everybody. It was,
Correct.
nobody understood anymore what was the point of the expose, right? So you had from former Speaker Martin Romualdez to Laila De Lima to now during Duterte's time to Speaker Lord Alan Velasco to Representative Jervy Luistro. So ang tanong ngayon, teka lang, sino ba talaga? Anong punto nito? So,
No,
Mike,
Karen.
what is the point? What is the point?
Yeah. I think, Karen, that is precisely the point. The Marines have no malice in coming out with what they're saying. Number one, I heard the report that when Boying Rimula came out, sabi niya, panahon niya ni Lord Velasco, panahon niya ni President Duterte, and I'm happy that he admitted the truth to the deliveries. I think that's the main point. As to whether it would hit Lord Velasco, as to whether it would hit the others, I cannot anymore determine that. Ang problema, Karen, many people would call me and say, bakit ako nadamay dyan? Bakit ako nasama dyan? Inosente ang sinabi ng mga sundalo. They were talking about what they witnessed. They're talking about what they see. And Karen, if you recall, ang unang sinasabi ng gobyerno, and up to now, that is the narrative of the government, Saldico is the mastermind of the corruption in the Philippines. Siya yung nagnakaw, siya yung head ng flood control scandal, siya yung gumawa ng pera sa basura. Siya yung pinuno o mastermind ng lahat ng to. And ito ngayon yung mga tao niya. Yung mga tao niya are saying, we delivered to this person, we saw and we witnessed this person getting money. And I think that's precisely the point. Walang politika to, walang narrative, walang script. They are talking about what they saw. As to how the ombudsman will now determine, ano ba yan, saan ba yan galing? Ang problema ka rin, sinasabi ko sabi nga saldi ko yung boss. Pero nung nagsalita yung mga tao na mga kasama niya na nagdi-deliver ng pera, all of a sudden discredit. So I don't anymore know, para bang ang nangyayari ngayon, yung Pilipino, yung sambayan na nakikinig, nanonood, parang, tao sila ni Saldi, and yet you do not want to investigate them. And yet you do not want to accept what they are saying. Ayaw nyo mang imbestigahan sa Blue Ribbon Committee, ginugulo na kayo ng NBI, tapos wala pa magkaso, para ng abogado yung ombudsman at NBI doon sa posisyon na pinipresenta ng mga sundalo.
Oo. Now, kasi in any investigation or in any expose, as we've seen through the years, it has to be focused, it's intended, there has to be a target and a conclusion that at least a result of a specific investigation. With the expose of the 18 ex-Marines, now it seems, who do we really want investigated? If I were to ask you now, who should the government investigate, considering that they've alleged that there are so many government officials who allegedly received money, and not all of them are exactly in the flood control scandal. You get me? Kumbaga, hindi na siya pinpointed into one specific crime.
Yeah, well, because I think precisely, Karen, what happened in Congress was that they manipulated the budget, inaayos na yung budget, and organized, no, from the program allocation to the determination of each district, kung ano man yung nangyari dyan sa budget. Tapos may mga delivery. Now, I agree with you, maaaring yung iba dito is not really exactly from flood control scandals. I do not know where it's coming from. But that has to be determined by the Ombudsman and the NBI. Now, if I may talk about focusing on the issues. Number one, there is now an ongoing impeachment case. Si Congresswoman Luistro is included in the list of those given money, including some members of the House Justice Committee. I think it's only fair na tingnan itong mga taong to. Because di ba, while it is not yet the court, kahit yung fiscal o yung prosecutor, you can ask for a change of a prosecutor. Because alam mong tainted, because alam mong may nangyari na in the past, and they were given money to do or to act on a certain agenda, like impeaching the Vice President, which is happening now again. Pangalawa, ano ba yung delivery dito na sinasabing malalaki? Number one is the ICC. They have to look into that if they are really serious about the ICC question, because it's a major part of the affidavit submitted by the soldiers. Number two, yung delivery.
Number three na.
Number three, sorry.
Oh.
Yung delivery kay Speaker Martin Romualdez. Because they are already saying that almost 3 times a week for almost two years and 8 months, they were delivering 3 times a week to the houses of Speaker Martin Romualdez. They were delivering to Aguado, to Forbes, at dun sa mga lugar identified as the houses of Speaker Romualdez, including the townhomes. Tapos nandyan si Bongbong Marcos. Nandyan si Sandro Marcos. So ito yung mga critical names that were mentioned in the affidavit, including sila Jojo Cadiz, na part of that investigation, if they are really serious about what they want to achieve in the supposed corruption that's happening in the country. Kasi ito yung malalaking pangalan, and ang sinasabi nila, bakit isang buo? Pag tinignan mo yung affidavit, sinasabi naman na ako kasama si ganito, si ganyan, only about 3 or 4 of them, kami nag-deliver kay ganito. Ako naman kasama si ganito, kami nag-deliver kay ganito. And you know, Karen, if the ombudsman, really wants to establish yung corruption about this, the crime, or the NBI would like to establish the crime, kahit naman sulat lang they can do motu proprio investigation and look at the allegations. Tingnan nila talaga ano yung krimen. Pangalawa, very critical yung sinasabi ni Saldico. Kasi ang hirap nung sinasabi nila na, kunyari, sinabi, yung mga sundalo, wala naman sinabing crime. Totoo. Delivery ng pera ang sinabi ng sundalo. Pero kung sinasabi niyo si Saldico yung head ng crime, siya yung mastermind, then we have to put it together. It may not happen now, Karen. I do not know if we can achieve this now. But I'm very, very sure that in the future, we will be able to establish the truth and the evidence, the facts about the corruption that we are seeing now in the country. First time, the massive organized corruption na nakikita natin sa ating bansa.
Now, you've talked about, actually, you've enumerated
Tayo mga kababayan, umaasa dyan sa sinasabi na yan itong si Sen Mike na walang araw, hindi ngayon, siguro bukas o sa susunod na linggo, maano na natin to, mahukay na natin o mabaon na natin itong mga dapat ibaon dito sa issue na to. Diba? Yung sino may kasalanan, maikulong na natin. Hindi man ngayon mga panahon na ito natin mapag-usapan ng hindi humaharang ang DOJ, hindi humaharang ang ombudsman, hindi dinidiscredit ng NBI yung mga naglalabasan ng testigo. Hindi man ngayon. Pero ang panahon, kahit gaano kabilis magtago, tumakbo itong mga walang yan to. Aabutan at aabutan din ho natin itong mga magnanakaw na to.
elaborated 3 clear points, right? 3 clear points on what the heart of the affidavit is. So then you may have some observers questioning the credibility of, number one, the witnesses and the motive of the witnesses themselves, because all 3 purposes or exposés benefit the Vice President, right? Parang it benefits Vice President Sara Duterte, number 1. Luis Tro cannot be trusted because nabayaran din siya, hence, eto pa may impeachment. Pangalawa, si Duterte nasa ICC, nabayaran allegedly si Trillanes, di ba? Tapos colored yun. So very pro-Duterte ang ano doon. Then biglang pangatlo, biglang nag-anti Speaker Martin Romualdez, anti-President Marcos Jr. So you do have sectors. This is why some have questioned, why aren't many mainstream organizations or news outlets carrying it? Because you do have some that feel it was engineered. It was engineered by a certain camp. Probably, let's say, some feel it's the camp of the Vice President. I'm not saying it is, Micah, but yun ang pananaw ngayon because you've enumerated 3 and they're all politically inclined. It is not targeted to one. Di ba? Paano napasok si Trillanes doon? Paano napasok ito doon? Ano ba yun? Ano ba ang talagang expose nila?
Alam mo, Karen, hindi ako magtataka na yun ang sasabihin ng mga sundalo. Because in the first place, yung organization ni President Bongbong Marcos, in terms of the resources, was handled by Saldico and Speaker Martin Romualdez. Sila yung main resource, pinanggagalingan ng pondo ng mga operation nila. Ito pang ginawa nilang operation. Di ba ang unang lang ginawang operation was the impeachment of Sara Duterte. So therefore, namimigay sila ng pera sa mga kaalyado nila. The second was to arrest President Rodrigo Duterte and bring him to The Hague. May ICC investigation. And yun din yung nakita ng mga sundalo. Yun din ang binibigyan na ng pera. You ask Saldico now, I've spoken to Saldico. Sasabihin naman niya sa iyo eh. Talagang namigay sila ng pera. Yes, I know.
You've spoken to Saldico recently?
I've spoken to Saldico, if you recall, before the impeachment of BBM. Yung hindi tinanggap, I
Okay.
spoke to him about it. And I was
Alright.
talking to him.
And I'm
that yung-
curious, I mean, did he call you? You called him? Because where is he exactly?
I'm not sure where he is, pero kasi may conduit siya eh, na meron kaming pinag-usapan at that time, and sinasabi ko sa kanya, I need him to come out in the impeachment hearings. Wala siyang sasabing iba, but what came out in the video recordings that he came out with, yung mga kanyang sinasabi, yun lang naman yung itatanong. And kasi up to now, Karen, hindi pa official yung mga yun. Hindi pa yun napunta sa public records natin because ay tanggapin nga ng Blue Ribbon Committee. And hindi naman niya to napanauthorize as of now. So anyway, going back to my point,
Yeah, so, okay.
paano magkakaroon ng, paano hindi na pag-iisipan, yun naman talagang operation nila. Di ba, pagka nagkaroon ng, I would think, may iba dyan, eleksyon. So bibigyan nila yung mga kasamahan nila. Pagka nagkakaroon ng break, tinatanong ko, sabi ko doon sa mga sundalo, bakit ba may binibigyan kayo sa townhouse ni Martin Romualdez? So hindi ko namin alam. Basta papasok doon yung mga congressmen, dalawa daw yung units. And from what I know before, isa lang ang unit ni Speaker Martin. Sabi ko, kanya na rin pala yung kabila. Yes, sir. Pag pumasok yung congressman, dala yung envelope na dala nila, lalabas dala din. And then si Speaker Martin, tatawagin sila. O kumuha pa kayo ulit ng 10. Kumuha pa kayo ulit ng 20. So, all these things na sinasabi nila, bakit walang motivation ng mga sundalo? Hindi naman sila kumite. In fact, delikado sila ngayon. Di ba? Naiimbestigan sila ng NBI. Merong mga cases na final sa kanila. Kasama din ako kay Senator Trillanes and kay Secretary Anyo. Why would they or why would we be pursuing all this if not gusto nito mga taong to malaman ng taong bayan yung katotohanan sa delivery ng pera. Delikado sila ngayon. Yung kanilang pamilya, may tatlo doon, pinuntahan pa yung mga bahay nila. tinatanong kung nasan sila. Yung immediate family nila, of course, natago na nila because we want to avoid what happened to Gutesa. So, this is the first time na may nagsasalita. And ang appeal ko lang sa authorities, particularly the Blue Ribbon Committee, is pakinggan sila. Kung gusto ng Senado, sasabihin ng Senado, ng Kongreso, hindi totoo yun, harapin nila. And I can guarantee you, Karen, they are willing to tell the story and confront those they saw, given money.
Okay, now Mike, I just want to go back to this. Did you ask Zaldico to be a witness for Vice President Sara Duterte in case the impeachment trial, in case the impeachment reaches the Senate and it becomes a full-blown trial? Is that part of the
Actually-
call? Is that part of the agenda?
No, Karen, if you recall, we filed an impeachment case against BBM. So I told him, kasi meron dun yung mga 25 billion that he accepted money. So yun ko siya tinanong, na kung pwede, dito sa if and when we are called to a hearing, that he becomes a witness to the presentation.
Okay, isa yun. Doon yun sa kaso nyo laban kay BBM sa
Yes.
Pangulo. Pero pagdating sa impeachment ni Vice President Sara Duterte, is he willing to be a witness?
I did not ask him about it.
Okay.
Hindi kami nakapag-usap tungkol dyan.
Kinakabahan itong si Ma'am Karen Davila kasi pag nagkataon tinanong itong si Zaldico, biglang lumitaw dyan si Zaldico, sinabi niya na yung naunang impeachment talagang pera ng DPWH ang umarangkada doon para talagang magmadali yung House of Representatives na i-impeach si BP Sara noong 2025. Naloko na. Lalo na kung nawalan ng kredibilidad, yung gustong itulak na yan ni Luis Tro. Pero sa tingin natin, dahil naitanong yan itong si Ma'am Karen Davila, isa sa mga senaryong tinitingnan nila dito, no? Kaugnay dito sa pagpapa-impeach kay VP Sara. Kasi eto simple lang to para kay Zaldico. Bibigyan kita ng senaryo. Ha? Ganito kasimple yan. Pag naupo si VP Sara, hindi ka mamamatay. Pero makukulong ka. O pagka hindi nanalo itong si VP Sara, 6 na taon. Kasi hindi makakalimutan yan ng sambayan ng Pilipino at hindi yan makakalimutan ng mga nakasama mo dito sa Pilipinas. Talagang gugustuhin nila na mapatahimik ka na. Ano gugustuhin mo ba na yung mga gustong magpatahimik sa'yo, makulong yan pag naupo si VP Sara? At ikaw, siyempre, kailangan mo ring managot doon sa mga kalokohan mo kung meron man, di ba? Kailangan mong panagutan yan. Hindi walang dito, walang free pass dito. Hindi porket pinagtuturo mo si Martin Romualdez, Marcos Jr., Relisa Araneta Marcos, automatic na absuelto ka. Ang atin ho dito, dapat timbangin din itong si Zaldico yung yung senaryo na kung saan yung kanyang buhay ang nakasaalang-alang. Kasi pagka ang naupo sa 2028, mga kaalyado nitong si Martin Romualdez, nitong si Marcos Jr., mas gugustuhin na lahu nila na patahimikin itong si Zaldico, na hindi yung patahimikin na yung tatahimik siya, hindi na pauuin dito, hindi na pakikialaman, yung tipong hindi na gagalawin yung mga kaso niya. Hindi ganun pagpapatahimik. Pagpapatahimik na gagawin dyan, alam nyo na ho yung tinutukoy ko kung ano yan. Yan ang gugustuhin noong mga individual na nabanggit ni Zaldico, kung pwede lang. Para wala ng personalidad na nakabantay o talagang yung kanyang nalalaman posibleng ikabagsak ng kung sino man na maupo na kaalyado nitong Marcos administration. Pero malabo na talagang manalo tong administrasyon na to sa kahit anong eleksyon. Kahit kailan natin gawin yan, ngayon, bukas, sa 2028, hindi ho talaga sila mananalo. Hindi ho talaga sila makakana kay BP Sara. Hindi ho talaga sila makakakanas sa bayan ng Pilipino, mga OFW at lahat ng mga kababayan natin na napuno sa pagnanakaw na ginagawa ng administrasyon ni Marcos Jr. Simple lang, Zaldico. Kakanta ka o kakanta ka, yun lang. Uuwi ka dito para mag-testify sa mga pagnanakaw na ginawa nyo dito sa administrasyon na to, o hindi ka uuwi at mayat maya merong nag-aabang na makakuha ng tiyempo para dispatchahin ka. Uy, malaki ano yan. Yang si Zaldico, tawag dito, marami hong nagnanasa na mapatahimik na yung mama na yan. Kung pwede, patahimikin na yan.
Okay, so that's one. Number two, so what essentially you're saying is that they are exposing that government money, influence, and power was used essentially to against the Dutertes. Yan yun. Other than yung pagnanakaw na korupsyon, ginamit ang pondo ng gobyerno laban sa mga Duterte. Kay Vice President Sara Duterte at kay dating Pangulong Duterte. Ganun ang overall theme.
No, there are two particular cases relating to that. The impeachment and then also the case of the ICC. Pero madami naman dito, nothing related to that eh. 'Di ba? Yung may binigay silang pera, nagpunta kaming Ilocos, nagdadala kami kay Martin 3 times a week. Hindi ba tayo interesado na ang sabi ng mga sundalo 500 million to 4 billion maximum. Nagdi-deliver kami kay Speaker Martin Romualdez 3 times a week. Meron pa kaming delivery separately sa Aguado 3 times a week. Hindi ba dapat interest natin ng lahat? Hindi ko alam kung saan napunta yun, kung panlaban ba yun sa politika, if it was against Duterte or not. Pero punto natin yun eh. If there is a delivery of 3 times a week starting from September of 2022 until about, I'm not sure in 2025, yung exact date, hindi ba dapat interesado tayo na bilyon-bilyon yung pera na nakikita nila at ang alam natin at ang hinala natin dahil yun din naman ang sabi ng gobyerno galing kay Saldico na ito ay galing supposedly, allegedly sa korupsyon ng ating pondo.
Okay. Now, what do you make of the fact that Senator Ping Lacson, he cast doubt on these allegations because he did the math and supposedly in doing the math, lalabas daw na 805 billion pesos in cash stuffed suitcases ang perang na-deliver. So he says he considered it an insult to intelligence, right? Then he said that would mean it's 800 metric tons of weight, requiring 13,000 large luggages. In effect, he says it's impossible, you know? Itong mga sinasabing figures ng mga Marines. What's your take?
Alam mo Karen, if we compute 4 times a month sa 1 billion na lang, that's 4 billion a month. If you put it together in 12 months, that's 48 billion a year. 1 billion lang yun 48 billion a year. So let's put it at 2 years na lang, 3 years, para mas madali natin i-compute. That's about 48, 96, siguro mga 130, 140 billion in total. That's only at 1 billion. Hindi, whether it's 800 billion or 2 billion or 4 billion, I think we have to really listen to them, look at the evidence, at pag-usapan ano ba yung delivery na yun. Remember, si Pangulong Erap nagkaroon ng kaso at 4 billion pesos. Si Pangulong GMA nagkaroon ng kaso at 300, yung the total fund nila ng PCSO, 360 million pesos. Ito, isang delivery, isang buwan na lang. At 1 billion, it's already 4 billion. You're talking of one delivery in one place. If there are already 2 deliveries, that's what, 260 billion? I mean, para bang sa umpisa pa lang, pinapasinungalingan nyo na yung sinasabi ng mga sundalo, hindi ayaw nyo pakinggan. Diba? Kausapin natin, harapin natin, then let's see and let's compute. Wala naman yung sa affidavit in the first place, yung 800 billion.
Oo. Mike, it's interesting that you went back to history, and I think it's important to remember that former President Erap Estrada was impeached for less. Former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo was impeached for less. Not impeached, was nakasuhan for less, right?
Yeah.
Charged for less. And you also have the Vice President right now who is charged for less. So,
yes.
kumbaga, what you're trying to say is, pera ng bayan yan, dapat pakinggan. But what do you make of the fact that the ICI came out with a statement over the weekend, and I'll read it. They found no liability on the part of former House Speaker Romualdez over the flood control anomalies. Kumbaga, right now, you are seeing the ICI already clear the former House Speaker?
Karen, I saw that before pa, nung December. Kasi nagsalita na yung mismong abogado ni Speaker Martin Romualdez that there was no basis to file cases against them. Kaya nagulat na ako. Yan naman yung hinihingi ng tao, parang kaya nagagalit ang lahat. From day one, we wanted to be transparent. Every time natatamaan si Speaker Martin Romualdez, the investigation stops. The time that he was invited to the ICI, wala. We didn't know what happened. He just submitted the affidavit. But I saw that. I read about the affidavit. Tapos parang wala na. In the committee, Blue Ribbon Committee, always they were citing yung parliamentary courtesy. That's why they didn't invite him. Wala. Wala mangyari dyan. Alam ng tao at galit ang tao sa nangyari. Up to now, since December, sabi ng Pangulo, may makukulong. Walang nakukulong. Lahat ng itinuturo, sabi nila si Saldico ang may problema. Nung nagturo na yung mga tao, in fact, sinabi ko nga there are deliveries to Speaker Martin Romualdez. Imbis na pakinggan nila yung mga Marines, immediately, outright lie, impossible, not true, credibility, not true. Para bang, di ba, Karen, if you file a case against a person, pupunta ka ng fiscal. If you have enough evidence na para bang may basis, then maglalaban kayo sa korte. Then it's where the other side will say, mali yan. Yung credibility nyo is shot or there's wrong with what yung evidence na you're presenting. Dito, umpisa pa lang You have people talking first-hand information, they have personal knowledge, sila yung nag-deliver, may picture sila, may ledger sila, and yet, from day one, stop. Lalo-lalo na pag si Martin Romualdez ang nadamay.
Yun Yun mga kababayan, pagka natututok na dito kay Martin Romualdez itong usapin na to, bigla na hong nagkakahindot-hindot. Titigil, magre-resign si Ping Lacson, titigil ang hearing, gagawa ng ibang issue, magpapapansin itong si Tuta Soto, di ba? Senator Bato de la Rosa, ganyan hong nangyayari dyan. Kaya para matapos na itong problema na to, dapat mag-resign na si Marcos Jr. At kung gusto na sambahin ng Pilipino, pumirma na yung sambulati sa bituka ni Marcos Jr., mas mainam din ho yan mga kababayan. Ay nako, wala akong dito, walang mangyayari dito sa usapin na to pagka ganito lang ho laging tuloy-tuloy na pagka may lalabas, sinungaling, sirain ng credibility. Sa next administration, dun pa lang ho tayo magkakaroon ng tunay na kaliwanagan dito sa issue ng maanumalyang flood control na to. Nakaka-frustrate lang kasi kahit yung mga mismo nag-i-interview sa mainstream media, pinipilit ho nilang baliin yung naratibo. Pinipilit ho nilang guluhin ang usapan. Imbis na susugan na lang, kapanayamin yung mga 18 Marine, kasabwat ho sila para ma-discredit o mawala ng tiwala o masira ang kredibilidad nito mga 18 Marine na to. Di naman natin linalahat pero base sa mga 18 Marine, meron din daw hong taga-mainstream media na talagang regular na tumatanggap ng pera.
So my last question, I think we don't have enough time, 2 minutes left, but are you still optimistic? I mean, just hearing yourself right now with what you've said, umpisa pa lang, kinlear na, ayaw pakinggan, sinabi na sila ng NBI, ikaw din, sinabi na, pumunta ka ng NBI, you have the ombudsman already stating that this happened before, during the time of Duterte, and the ombudsman criticizing you as well. Let's not forget that. Kahit papaano, meron pa rin. I mean, do you still believe in any sense of impartiality at this point? Frankly speaking, I mean, be honest.
No, I think, I'm being honest, yung impartiality, the justice that we're all, not only me, I think the Filipino people, lahat nagsasabi, we want to see this, we want it to be transparent, wala kaming judgment on all these things, but it has to be on record. And people have to know ano ba yung nangyari, and you have to call on the others. Ito hindi nakikita ng taong bayan. So it's not just me. As to whether we will continue the fight, definitely. I think I embody the sentiment of many of the Filipinos na nakikita nila may mali, may corruption, may dapat may malagot at may pera na dapat masoli. And politically, morally, this is the correct thing to do. People should speak out. Marami na nagsasalita, marami panlalabas. At naniniwala naman ako in the end, they cannot hide it. They cannot set it aside. Eventually, lalabas ang katotohanan. At naniniwala ako, itong mga sundalong to, from Gutesa to the 18 Marines, walang motibo to, wala tong objective na kung ano man, nagtrabaho lang sila at nakita nila na ito pala yung pera ng korupsyon na binabanggit at alam nila yung nagiging epekto nito at nakikita nila sa mga Pilipino. From PhilHealth funds being taken, nababaha yung mga tao, maraming namamatay. Ito yung mga epekto na nakikita nila.
Okay. Is the Vice President in any way supporting your cause or the 18 Marines?
The Vice President gave a statement, nabasa ko yun, na sinasabi niya, pakinggan nyo yung 18 Marines. But I have not spoken to her. I've not met her about it. We have not discussed anything about it. Hindi ko pa nga siya nakakausap for the longest time. Pero, for me, itong lumalabas na to, it's not just a concern of the Vice President. Ang tingin ko concern niya dito personal because nakita niya paano inoperate yung tatay niya, si Pangulong Duterte. But more importantly, I think yung taong bayan. Dapat makita nila kasi Karen, if this continues na kaya ng Kongreso, ng Committee on Appropriations alongside with the Senate, na ayusin yung budget natin, tapos i-organize yung corruption, kawawa tayo. Walang mangyayari sa ating bansa. This is the situation that we will see in the future na imbis na natapos sana yung subway, kinuha yung pera, nilagay sa iba. Imbis na, for example, now we're talking about yung gera, tumataas ang presyo. Kung yung palang pondo nilagay sa tamang irigasyon
Alright.
para dun sa ating mga magsasaka, these are all directly affecting us. And sabi ko nga sa mga liberal, kung si Pinoy buhay ngayon, nagwawala na rin yan at kasama ko na isa sa nagsasalita tungkol dito sa problemang to.
All right. On that note, I want to thank you. We don't
Ayun na nga mga kababayan, dito na natatapusin ang ating reaction video. So Luis, maraming salamat po sa pag-support sa PH Update. Mag-ingat po kayong lahat. Mahal natin Pilipinas. Salamat, Sir Mike.